Slightly more trickier question for applications 2. 100 metre square hay shed is to be extended to give 375 metres of floor space in total as shown. All angles are right angles. Find the value of x. Okay, so this bit here looks like this bit here is being added on. Okay, so originally we've just got this little bit here, and that's 100 metres squared. Okay, and that's quite easily quite easy to tell that. Okay, so what we need is we need to work out x and x here. So let's just draw this this by itself, the yellow bit here. I'll try and do it as best I can, and we'll work out some things about it. Okay, so the first thing we work out is that the bottom bit here is going to be x, and we know that this length here in total, so this total length here is going to be x plus 10, because this length here is x and this is 10, so this length here must be x plus 10. Okay. The other thing we need to know is the area of this. The question tells us that the total area of everything, the blue and the yellow bit, has to be 475. We've already got 100, so to work out the area, we're going to go 475 minus 100. Okay, so that's going to give us 375. Alright, so it did look a little bit trickier than the one above it, but it's actually not. We're still working with a rectangle. We know the area of a rectangle is equal to length times width. Okay, so we have those dimensions. We worked out the area is 375. The length is x plus 10, and the width is x. I'm going to write it like this. Okay, so it's simply a matter of solving like the last one. Okay, so we've got x squared plus 10x. And if we take it a step further, we're going to get x squared plus 10x minus 375 equals 0. Okay, just solving. I've just done it a bit quicker. So this is a little bit trickier because it's got, we're going to have to work in our, so we're going to have to look at this number here, and we're going to have to work out factors of that add up to 10. Okay, so that is, I'm going to work through that off camera and work out what that is, and then I'll come back. Okay, so what I worked out is the factors of minus 375. Factors of 375 are 25 times 15. Okay, it's a negative, so one of them has to be negative. We have to add up to get positive 10, so I think if we make negative 15, we'll get a good factors, which doesn't make sense. Okay, so x is going to be x minus 15, x plus 25 equals 0. So I'll put that on that side. Our answers are going to be x is equal to 15 and x is equal to minus 25. Now again, we're dealing with a real life situation, so only the positive answer is going to be, makes any sense. Okay, so we've got x equals 15 is our width there. Okay, so that's the second one. Now the last one here I'm going to do is a little bit trickier, hopefully. This is a right angle triangle question. So we're going to use Pythagoras' theorem to solve this triangle. We know its hypotenuse. We don't know the small sides. We know it in terms of x. Okay, so we've got a couple of things to work with. A right angle triangle. You should hopefully remember Pythagoras' theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. C squared being the hypotenuse. Okay, we can start putting some numbers in and try to solve this for x. Okay, so let's call this A, we'll call this B, and we'll call this C. Okay, A and B not really that important, which one you call which, but C is very important. That has to be 10, okay, because that is the longest side. Okay, so let's start putting these in. So A squared is going to be x squared plus B squared. Now you have to square the whole thing because B is x plus 2. So we've got this equals 10 squared, which is just going to be 100. Okay, so what we're going to have to do now, we need it in factor form. So a couple of things have to happen first. We're actually going to expand, and we're going to expand the perfect square here. Okay, if you remember it, if you can do it this easy way, it's that squared plus that times 2, which is 4x, plus 2 squared, which is 4, equals 100. Okay, and now you collect like terms. This first one here is like terms. That's 2x squared plus 4x plus 4. What I'll actually do is equals 100. I'm going to take 100 away from both ends, both sides, okay, to give me 0 on one side, which will allow me to use the null factor law in the next question. The next step, 6 equals 0. Okay, now this is a mnemonic. However, we've got a highest common factor of 2, so take out 2 from all the terms. Okay, and we're left with a mnemonic trinomial. So factors of negative 48 that will add up to positive 2. So 8 and 6 are probably the best factors, because if you make 6 negative, you add those together, you're going to get a positive 2. So let's put that into brackets. Oops. Okay. Now, remembering solving, when you solve these, only the factors with a pronumeral or an unknown make any sense. Okay, so ignore the 2. It doesn't come into our solving. But if we equate these two to 0, we're going to get x is equal to negative 8, or x is equal to positive 6. Okay, they're my two answers that it can possibly be. Okay, again, this is a length question. Negative answers don't make sense. All the questions I've picked, they end up making sense. Sorry, not making sense, but sometimes they do. You have to be aware that a negative answer can sometimes be correct, but we're going to pick that as our answer. So x is negative 6. Sorry, x is positive 6. Okay, so that's how you solve application questions. Have a go at a couple of these, and good luck.